Hello everyone, and welcome back to another YouTube video. This is a bit different from the videos I usually make, but I didn't see any videos like this one. And if you've seen my channel before, you would know I'm basically the definition of fine, I'll do it myself. After watching uh, when I was making this 84 episodes of Solar Balls videos, Phobos and Deimos had become my favorite of the moons. That might sound crazy, and you're probably off to the comments section right now to say that they're just two annoying siblings. I can understand that, but let me explain. What I want to talk about is their absolute devotion to Titan during the Moon Revolution arc. When you don't think about it, it seems pretty random, but when you do think about it, it makes perfect sense. When you consider how everyone else they've met so far has treated them. First of all, the Earth has been mean to them, calling them asteroids instead of moons. As for Venus, if Ganymede is a pipsqueak, as like he called him in the War of the Planets video, and he's bigger than Mercury, who knows how he treated Phobos and Deimos. The moon is probably always just being silent while the planets are playing cards, and Mercury never gets to hang out with them because of the Sun and Venus. They may occasionally get interactions with Jupiter being right next to the asteroid belt, but there's no evidence to support that. The only one they have met up to that point that has actually treated them nice was Mars. We can get an idea that Mars has a better relationship with Phobos and Deimos than any of the planets have with their moons, at least in the early series. When Earth insulted all the moons when they met Titan, Mars stopped being friends with him. When Earth was gloating about being the only one with a moon, even though Phobos and Deimos are moons, Mars just flat out said that they are not just tiny asteroids and that they are his moons. While this may seem one-sided, we can see later in the Moon Revolution that Phobos and Deimos are genuinely sad that Mars was almost killed by the rest of the moons. And Mars seems happy to see the two are okay, even though he's in a bad condition and all. There is definitely a good relationship between them. The closest we get to this planet-moon relationship from anyone else from this series would be from Neptune and Pluto. While all of Neptune's moons seem very happy to see Neptune, Triton isn't. And while Pluto is the only character to have a nicer relationship with Charon than Mars has with Phobos and Deimos, his character development hasn't happened by the time they meet Titan. While Mars is definitely nice to them, there is no evidence to show that he has treated them as a planet's equals. If anything, he probably saw two little asteroids orbiting him one day and assumed from their size that they were kids. So he probably started treating them like kids. His kids, but still kids. And after millions of years being treated like that, they eventually become the children Mars was treating them like. The worst we see Mars treating Phobos and Deimos would be in the episode How Dangerous Are Asteroids, where we see Earth throw an asteroid at Mars that could easily obliterate the two moons. We did see Mars showing concern for Luna later in that episode, Earth's moon. So I'm guessing Mars just didn't see Phobos and Deimos when he started playing, but still, this shows a lack of responsibility from Mars, as he should always check that Phobos and Deimos are out of the way before he starts playing. Then one day, Phobos and Deimos meet Titan, and he tells them that they don't need to be a giant planet to cause a lot of damage. Because of this, Phobos and Deimos begin to look up to Titan, and end up blindly following him. We even see that with what Titan said to them about not needing to be a planet to be strong is taken to heart by them, or core. Well, they're not really big enough to have a core, whatever. But in the episode, The Moons of Jupiter, they were terrified of going out to find new moons to join Titan's cause. In later episodes, though, when they find out what all the other moons had done to the Mars, they end up rebelling against the Moon Revolution. In in the Moon Revolution Part 2, they help fend off the moons, and in the Moon Revolution Part 4, they help protect the Earth from asteroids. It doesn't matter how little they end up doing. Titan had taught them that it doesn't matter if they're some of the smallest moons in the solar system, that they were not worthless. And because of that, Phobos and Deimos agree that Titan is the best, even when uh, even when they hold a grudge against almost every other moon for almost killing Mars. Not just because Titan had no idea what was happening when that was happening, but because he taught them how to stand up for themselves. In the latest episode, when I was writing this, uh, the Rocky Planets, this seems to proves this the most. Uh, they got they only got a couple of lines, but they go up to Mars, happy to see him alive, and tell him how brave they were in the face of danger. And there's something about those couple of moments they were on screen that give me the vibe of two kids telling their parent what they did at school today. There is only one case I can think of where these two moons act out of character, that being their first appearance in the episode What If the Moon Went Away, where they tell the moon to crash into Mars, possibly killing both just so they can get bigger. While it is reasonable that they want to be bigger because by then they had the mentality that you had to be big to be meaningful, but it doesn't make sense that they would put both the moon and Mars in danger, considering how concerned they were for Mars during the moon revolution. The most logical explanation I can think of is that because of their childlike mentality, they hadn't taken into full consideration what that would have meant for Mars and the moon. However, since this was in Solar Balls' early days, before episodes even made it to the 3-minute mark, I can forgive it, because they likely didn't know what Solar Balls was going to become, let alone what they were going to do in the long term. In fact, after watching all 84 episodes of Solar Balls, they did have their bad writing moments. I'm not saying Solar Balls is bad by any means. If anything, it's fabulous. I'm just saying it's not perfect. But hey, 84 episodes, and I could count the amount of questionable writing moments on my two hands. If that's not a sign of the single best educational show on the YouTube platform, I don't know what is. If you enjoyed this video,